Here today to introduce our new lacrosse coach, Rory Whipple. Rory comes to us from Florida Southern, where he had worked for a little bit over 2 years.
Yeah, third year.
I hate to use the word stole, but we stole him away from Florida Southern. In our search, we've known for quite a while that we were going to add lacrosse, which is a question of when for the university. And I kept talking to people all over the country, and they would say, "You got a guy in your backyard that you need to talk to," and I'm sure he'll have tons of candidates available, and he'll know the best people that would be suited for your area. Rory, after talking to him, Rory developed an interest in the position. I'll let him explain all the who's and whys to you. So we're very, very fortunate to have Rory come to us. He's the winningest coach in Division II, and he has started several lacrosse programs. It's a new sport, a new venture for us. We're extremely excited about it. It's a very action-packed sport. I don't know how many of you, just by show of hands, how many of you here are familiar with lacrosse. So you probably know more about it than I do, but we enjoy watching it. It's a physical sport, which we need at the university. There's a lot of excitement. It's a very fast-paced game. We're excited to have Rory here, and we think that we have the best coach, not only in Division II, but one of the best in the country. And with his experience and background in starting programs, we're just tickled to death that he would even consider the University of Tampa. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Rory and let him come up and make some comments.
Hey, I'd just like to start off and thank Larry for giving me this opportunity to come to University of Tampa and be part of the athletic family. And I'm real excited here, to begin this journey of starting a lacrosse program at University of Tampa. As Larry spoke about, it is an exciting sport. It is a spectator sport, and it's something that the students can rally behind and get involved and show up and root our teams on. But it's a great opportunity for me, my family. I'm excited to be here, and I look forward and getting this program going off the ground. And next year will be our first season of competition, and we'll be competing in the Deep South Conference. Any questions?
What's the toughest part about starting a new program in a competitive division like we have?
Well, what I feel is trying to attract the top athletes. A lot of the top athletes do not want to go to a startup program, but I feel within lacrosse there seems to be a real bottleneck with the divisions. Division I has roughly 60 teams, and that is not growing because of Title IX. Division II has roughly 40 teams. Division III has probably 150, 160 teams. And this sport is exploding throughout the country at the high school level, the elementary level. So we got all these kids coming up through the ranks, and they all can't go to Division I schools. So that gives us a better opportunity to go out and attract kids to the Division II schools. Yep.
What can the lacrosse program bring to an already accomplished UT sports scene?
Well, I did, again?
What can the lacrosse program bring to an already accomplished University of Tampa sports scene?
Well, hopefully, we could compete for a national championship, just like some of the other sports here that have competed on the national level. One thing about lacrosse, which is real different than any of the other sports, our national championship is held at the Final Four weekend. The Final Four weekend is the Division I Final Four weekend, where on Saturday they have 2 Division I games. On Sunday they will host the Division II championship and the Division III championship with finals on Monday. So that is certainly unique. In the past few years, they have drawn over 50,000 people on Saturday's game, and at the Division II championship game and Division III championship game, they've drawn over 25,000 people.
If you didn't know, there's a lot of Northerners that come to Tampa, and we had a pretty good club lacrosse team. Do you plan on doing like an open tryout for students that are already here, or do you plan on bringing a lot of new people in?
Well, ideally, what I will do is certainly meet with the club people right now, and we're going to set up a meeting for the next couple of weeks, talk to them, let them know what they need to do to work on over the summer, and come fall, we will have open tryouts for all the new recruits and also the current players that are here now. Yep.
How you doing? Lee Goddard, St. Where is your main focus of like, where are you focusing your recruiting at? Is it like in the Tampa area, in the Florida area, or is it like more?
Well, currently, the way I start out is, we'll start out locally, in Tampa. I certainly have a good handle on the kids in Tampa. I've coached Tampa Fire Club teams. Then we'll reach out throughout the state of Florida, and then we'll head north to New England, New York, New Jersey, Baltimore. That certainly our biggest hotspot for talent right now. And our school traditionally draws from that area, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and it's a real hotspot for lacrosse. But we will recruit coast to coast. Yep.
Have you witnessed any of the skill level at the University of Tampa yet, or is it still shut down?
Well, right now it's a club program, and I will have an opportunity to see them play and get an idea. Just looking at the roster, I certainly noticed that there's a lot of kids from, they have New York area codes, Baltimore area codes, so that's a pretty good indication that there is talent here that we can draw from.
Two questions. The first one being what type of players are you looking for? And the second question being what's your type of play? Like how do you go about the games?
Well, certainly, with my past experience, I want to recruit the student athlete. I want to recruit the students of strong character. I'm certainly looking at, dedicated, discipline, and desire to win. Those are the three aspects I look at. We'll go out and we'll try to recruit the best kids we can, but also, we got to look at, their background, their character, and, how they handle themselves.
And the second question was, what's your style of play on field?
Oh, style of play? Well, lacrosse is a great sport, and it's action-packed. We want to play as fast as possible. That means going up and down the field, lots of shots on goal, lots of contact, and we want to play a fast-paced game. Certainly, a lot of times you don't always have the horses to play that game, so starting off it might be a little slower pace, but eventually we'll get to be able to play a fast-paced game.
Coach, you have the first intercollegiate varsity team in the city of Tampa. What are you going to do to be a face for your sport in the community?
Well, that's definitely true. We are as far as Tampa Bay goes, we are the first college sport here to offer it, and we will become the focal point for. I believe there's probably 10 or 15 local high schools. Right now, I have 2 games scheduled for 2 high school games for Pepin Stadium. We have St. Andrews from Boca Raton, who's won the state championship the last 14 years in a row. They'll be playing Brunswick Academy out of Connecticut. Also, we have Ponte Vedra coming in, who is ranked in the top 4 in the state. They'll be playing Fort Collins out of Colorado. So we certainly want to make the University of Tampa a focal point for all the high schools and attract the high school players to come watch, and also just try to build the high school programs through camps, clinics, and just make it better lacrosse for Tampa.
Any more questions? questions?
Yep.
How did you break the news to Florida Southern that you'd be leaving for their rival school?
Well, that was definitely a sensitive issue, and you know, the way I approached that was that even though Tampa is a rival school, Tampa did not have lacrosse. So, and right now it is not a Sunshine State Conference sport. So it's not like I'm leaving Florida Southern to go to another established lacrosse school within the Sunshine State Conference. Right now, for next year and the year after, we'll still be part of the Deep South Conference, and we'll compete with Lenore, Ryan, Catawba, Wingate, and Mars Hill, along with schools in the Sunshine State Conference, St. Leo's, Rollins, Florida Tech, Florida Southern, and University of Tampa. So, but that was a sensitive subject, and you know, it was sad for me to leave Florida Southern. Florida Southern is a great school. We had a real strong program going. This year they should be real successful, compete for the Deep South Conference. But I just really felt with University of Tampa, being in Tampa with all the local high school programs, with the great facilities as far as Pepin Stadium, locker rooms, weight rooms, that this would be a better fit for me and my family. Yep.
Michael Idler. Being the all-time winningest coach in Division II, what are some characteristics of yours that you have and other coaches don't in Division II?
Longevity. You know, I was very fortunate. When I graduated college, I got into college right away, and you know, I've been at it for a long time. And you know, really, it's it's hard work, dedication. You know, I got a work ethic that you know, I think I got from my wrestling background, being a New York State champ, being a college wrestling coach. That you know, I enjoy competing, and I enjoy working at it, and certainly you know, it takes a lot of work to build programs, to attract dedicated athletes, and that's what I enjoy doing. It's a passion, it's a love I've had since I've been a little kid, and you know, I'm anxious to you know, not only compete next year, but you know, compete at a high level first year out.
More questions?
Yep.
With your background in lacrosse in many different areas, being down here and up north, are you planning on bringing any type of assistant coaches onto your staff?
Yes, we're looking into that right now. You know, certainly being in Tampa, there's certainly a lot of young players that are coming back from college that have gone up north, that have played at Division I schools, that are coming back to Tampa, and we're looking for volunteers, and also, you know, we'd like to hire a full-time assistant coach. You know, right now I project that, you know, we could have 36 to 45 players in the program next year, and you know, you really need 3 or 4 people to manage that many players on and off the field. So we're hoping, being in Tampa, that there will be people available that we can hire, that we can bring on, and a lot of people have started to contact me already. So
We'll bring up Athletic Director Larry Marfise for some closing questions.
all right, thank you for coming.
Anyone have any additional questions they'd like to ask me about lacrosse? Anything in the athletic program? Glad to answer this time. Yes?
How long has this been like in the making? How long have you been about?
We've been talking about adding sports since I came to Tampa. I've been in my 11th year or 12th year. I'm not even sure how long I've been here. Starting to run together. We constantly want to move forward. Lacrosse has always been on you know, the forefront as one of the sports that we have wanted to add. Our hesitations are the limitations that we have in facilities. We currently only have 2 fields. Those of you that play sports realize that you need to have more space. The university has a master plan where we're looking to add additional space because we know we need green space on campus. We need spaces just for students to go out and throw frisbees and hit golf balls and do whatever you would like to do on that space, but we also need facility space to practice. So we're moving forward. The timing was good now because we need, and I'm not going to hold back at all, we need male students at the university. Those of you that are males in this room that attend the university know that's probably a great advantage because there are so many women. Those of you that are women probably think it's a huge disadvantage because the guys here are all kind of dorky and you don't like them. But we need male students, and we thought this was an appropriate sport to add. We have a great soccer program in the fall. This gives us a nice complement in the spring to have a very active team sport as well. Plus, it brings male students. So, we've been talking about it, as I said, for well over 10 years, and adding sports and just what would be the right fit for us. We think we're a little bit behind the curve. There are several schools that we compete against in Florida that have added lacrosse. Florida Southern, as an example, Rollins College, St. Leo have all added, and Nova is looking to do it. Florida Tech has added. Rollins College, I can say that already, has it. So it's an up-and-coming sport. It's the fastest growing sport in the country. I just had some salesmen in from a group that are trying to convince to buy sporting goods through them, and they told me that they're selling more lacrosse equipment nationally now than any other sport. That's a good indication that the sport, how fast the sport has grown and how many kids are playing it. So we like to stay in the forefront. We like to add additional sports that are good for the university, will attract students that we can use, that can play and have a desire to come to Tampa and play the sport. Yes?
I guess you may have answered this before, trying to grow the male population, but how does adding lacrosse affect title
That's a very good question. We've looked at it. We think we're in real good shape. We added women's golf as well this year. So we think we are. There are several different tests that you use, or prongs, to make sure you're in compliance with Title IX. Financially, we're in great shape. We're skewed heavily in favor of the women when you look at how we fund those programs compared to the men. Participation numbers, this will put us, hopefully will put us above the 50-50 split that you like to have, but that's actually not one of the requirements of Title IX. You have to fund sports similarly. And then the third test is that you meet the needs of your student body within reason. And we think we are meeting that need. We've had many students over the years that wanted golf, so we added women's golf. So we think we're in real good shape when it comes to Title IX. That was the first thing that we looked at to make sure that we were treating everything similarly. Yes?
I know you mentioned that the school has a plan to get more playing space, especially for lacrosse in the future. But for the time being, especially for next year, do you have a temporary location where you're going to hold games or even practice?
Well, games and practice will be on our practice fields in our stadium right now. That's one of the attractive things that attract, actually, Rory liked, because at Florida Southern they were not playing games on campus. The stadium sits empty, in the spring of the year. We don't play games other than a handful of non-traditional season soccer games. So we will play games there and practice on the field. For the time being, for a year or so, I anticipate it's going to be a juggling act, making sure that we work with all of our coaches and that everybody has a slotted time. They practice during that time for their sport teams, particularly in the fall and the spring. Yes?
What sort of timeline is there to the start of the season? Like, by when you guys plan to have part of the team recruited, then scheduling?
Well, Coach Whipple has hit the ground running, and he is out actively recruiting. He can answer that question much better than I.
Yeah, I've been, I actually got going last week, and through my contacts, we have quite a few student athletes looking at us right now. Tuesday, I'm flying up with the admissions department to do some open houses up on Long Island, Baltimore, and I'm going to spend a week up there visiting high schools and junior colleges recruiting. But next fall is our non-traditional season, and I expect to have, a 36-man roster, and I would expect to have 40 or 50 kids trying out for the sport next fall because of the new recruits and the club players that are here right now. And we will have probably three scrimmage games in the fall, maybe a Florida State club team, UF club team, maybe Jacksonville Division I schools. And then come springtime, we'll have a full schedule of 14 games, and we will compete in the Deep South Conference.
And I might add, one of the reasons we added lacrosse is that for the last 4 years, prospective student athletes, people like yourself, or prospective students have indicated that they've had a high desire for lacrosse, and the checklist that they receive when they're sending the initial information back to the admissions office. We had somewhere in the neighborhood of 600 young men that play lacrosse that are in our current pool of students who the university is trying to recruit to come to school here. So that was one of the lucrative and indeed a surprise for us that there were that many kids that had an interest in playing. So we're excited about it. Any additional questions? If not, I'd like to thank you for coming. We appreciate you being here. Please spread the word. Be positive about our new sport and our additions, and thank you very much.